What's going on, guys? Alex Leva back here again for another Blu-ray update. I got tons of crap to talk to you guys about today. I got some box sets, and I got some Steelbooks, and some other random pickups, and a lot of these I got for pretty good deals, so let's get right into them. The first film I have to show you guys today is Sausage Party, a film that I just watched for the first time 2 days ago, and I really enjoyed this movie. I didn't like it as much as I thought it would, but I really liked the social commentary in this movie, with so many different things, with races, religion, and just so many different things. I thought this movie was very well written. The voice acting was pretty good. One thing that kind of disappointed me about this movie is that at the very end of the movie, they do something that's really cool, and I thought, that is awesome! But then the movie just ends, and they don't explore it at all, and just like, well, that's kind of disappointing. That was so awesome, and they didn't do anything with it. But other than that, really entertaining movie. The next film I have up is not a great movie, and it's not even really a good movie, but it's a movie that I enjoyed, and I kind of had a guilty pleasure for, and that is Knock Knock, starring Keanu Reeves and a couple really hot chicks. And what this movie's about is Keanu Reeves is a father, his family goes on vacation, and he's home alone, and these two girls knock on his door. They say like, oh, you know, could we come in for a little while and do our laundry? And then as it turns out, these chicks are a little freaking nuts. Now this movie, probably the main word I can use to describe this movie is over the top. Just everything in this movie is just so over the top. All the performances. For example, there's this scene to where Keanu Reeves just completely flips. It was just so over the top and funny.
Why? Because I fucked you? You don't give a fuck. You'll just fuck anything. You'll just fuck anything. What the fuck? Fuck.
The movie's funny because of how over the top it is. But let me stress this. This is not a good movie. I would recommend this if you're a fan of Eli Roth. This film is on Hulu and I think Amazon Instant Video, so if you want, maybe check it out, if it sounds interesting to you. I got it for $6 at Best Buy. Next, I got 3 Steelbooks that I'm going to talk to you guys about, and the first one up is one of my favorite childhood movies of all time, and that is Space Jam. Now, I recognize that this movie isn't the best movie ever. It doesn't really hold up that well. I still really enjoy this movie. I'm still very entertained by it. It holds a lot of nostalgic value to me. It probably has one of my favorite soundtracks of all time, and I just had to get the Steelbook. If you saw my video I did with my friend Brian, I bought the Steelbook, and it didn't come with the Blu-ray disc. I already had this movie on Blu-ray, so I just took the disc out of here and put it in here. And it's the same exact disc. They didn't give it any new special features or a new disc or anything. They just put the same disc in here. The next Steelbook I have up is my favorite comedy of all time, and it's my very first Zavvi Steelbook, and that is Clerks. And this is a really nice Steelbook. The front is the original theatrical poster. You turn it over and there's Dante. And you open it up, and then on the inside it's the quick stop. I just love everything about this movie. I love the characters. It says some of my favorite characters of all time now. The film is just so well written. The characters have great chemistry with one another. I'm glad I finally had my favorite comedy of all time on Steelbook. The next Steelbook I have up is my favorite horror film of all time. And I haven't talked about this in a Blu-ray update yet, but I have showed it in, I think, a couple other videos. And that is the 10th anniversary edition of Saw. Now, I've talked about this countless times, so I'm not going to be talking too much about it. This film just takes everything I love about movies and just throws it all into one. Anyway, this Steelbook came with a poster, which is the 10th anniversary poster, which is the front of this. There's nothing on the back, which is freaking dumb. They should have at least had something on the back. Here's the inside right here. It's just Billy the Puppet. It comes with postcards. There's one with Dr. Gordon on it, and then there's one with Billy the Puppet. Pretty cool. Then the last 3 are just Amanda. Just some of the 10th anniversary posters. Okay, guys, the next movie up is one of the best dramas I've ever seen. I've been wanting to talk about this movie in an update for a really long time, and that is Magnolia, written and directed by Paul Thomas Anderson, one of the best filmmakers. I thought this movie was absolutely phenomenal. Like I said, one of my favorite dramas now. I've seen it like over 5 times. This film has an all-star cast: Tom Cruise, John C. Reilly, Philip Seymour Hoffman, William H. Macy, Julianne Moore. This is a 3-hour movie about all these stories, you know, like all these different stories involving all these characters. Basically, what this movie's about is how your relationship with your parents influence your life. All the performances in this movie are great. Just an incredible, epic film. The film is so complex and so big, like it's just a big, story. I thought, man, a really smart person had to write this thing. And one thing I wanted to mention about this movie, the ending to this film. You see, the thing with this movie is that, it's all 100% grounded in reality. I thought, okay, everything that happened, this is a realistic and tangible movie. And then the ending happened, and it's just this big, ridiculous thing. When I first saw it, I was literally yelling at the TV. I was just like, what is this? But after the movie, I looked up, analyses and interpretations of the movie and the ending, and it made more sense to me. Anyway, like I said, absolute masterpiece. It's definitely in my top 50 movies of all time. I strongly, strongly recommend this film, especially if you're a fan of Paul Thomas Anderson. The next movie up is The Nice Guys, starring Russell Crowe and Ryan Gosling, directed by Shane Black, who directed Kiss Kiss Bang Bang and Iron Man 3. I really enjoyed this movie. I saw it in theaters back in May. I really enjoyed this movie. I really liked the writing. The writing was clever. It was funny. It was interesting. It had an interesting plot. And overall, just a really well put together movie. This is probably more than likely gonna be on my top 10 films of the year. Really, really good film. The next movie I have up is The Good Dinosaur. I got this for $5 at Disc Replay when I went out with my math teacher, Mr. Kinsey. I haven't seen the whole thing, but I've seen parts of it. It looked good on Blu-ray. The visuals looked pretty cool, and I can't wait to watch the rest of this. And really good deal too for a Pixar movie, $5. Speaking of another $5 Blu-ray. I got Saving Private Ryan for $5 with the Sapphire Series slipcover. Now, that is a good deal. I think this is worth $10 or maybe more. I'm not sure, but right when I saw this for $5, I knew I had to pick it up, and I didn't have this yet, and it's one of the best war films of all time, and I thought, why not? Speaking of good war films, I saw Hacksaw Ridge recently. It's probably my favorite movie of the year. It is absolutely incredible. The next movie I have up is a classic film that I've actually just watched for the first time. I think a little over a month ago. I saw it in theaters, actually, for its 40th anniversary. And that is Taxi Driver, starring Robert De Niro, directed by Martin Scorsese. Now, this is one of the best character pieces of all time, in my opinion. This is the Digipack. I didn't end up getting the 40th anniversary Blu-ray. This is still a pretty awesome Blu-ray. I got for really cheap at a pawn store. I thought, why not? This is probably cooler than the 40th anniversary Blu-ray, which only comes with one new special feature, I believe. E.T. the Extraterrestrial I got for $9.99 when I went out with Cinecreep. I haven't showed this yet in a Blu-ray update. Yeah, I got this at a buy-sell trade place. I saw it and I thought, you know what, why not? It's a cool looking digibook. And I didn't have the movie, I just have the collector's edition box set on DVD. I got about 4 box sets that I'm going to show you, and the first one I have up I got for $9.99, and that is the Spider-Man trilogy, one of my favorite trilogies of all time. I even like the third one. It's not a great movie, but I do still enjoy it to this day. The first 2 Spider-Man movies, absolutely incredible. The first one, I believe, is in my top 20 or top 25 favorite films of all time, and the second one is probably in my top 30 or 35, but they're both incredible films. I've always liked the first one more. The first one, I believe, is actually the very first film I've seen in the movie theater, and I actually started crying when the Green Goblin came up, and then my dad actually had to take me out of the theater, and I've always hated myself for that. Pretty cool little box set. This could have been cooler, but overall, it's a decent little bundle to have all the movies. Comes with 1, 2, 3, and then a bonus disc. The next box set I have is a box set that I got for $20. I saw it used for $20 at Disc Replay, and I knew that I had to get it, and that is Star Wars: The Complete Saga on Blu-ray. Like I said, $19.99 at Disc Replay used, and I looked it up, and it was $90 on Amazon, I think. It's tons of money everywhere else. All 6 movies, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6... and then 3 bonus discs. I have not seen any Star Wars movie. I know a lot of you are very angry at me right now, but I promise you, I will watch the original trilogy before Rogue One comes out. The next box set I got is the Alfred Hitchcock Essentials Collection. I got for $20 at a used store. I've seen about 3 movies in this set, and obviously, I've seen Psycho, which is my 4th favorite horror film of all time, and it is, in my opinion, the best horror film of all time. I absolutely love Psycho, and I've been wanting to get it on Blu-ray for a while, so I figured, you know what, why not just get this set? And I saw Rear Window for the first time recently. I shot a clip for Jack Attack's movie night. Check him out if you haven't already. I thought it was decent. You know, I didn't like it as much as, you know, Psycho or even North by Northwest, which is another film in here that I've seen. And the final thing I got in this Blu-ray update is a DVD box set, which when I saw it, I had to pick it up because I'm an enormous fan of this series, as everybody knows, and that is the Saw 5 Collector's Edition. It actually talks, look.
You thought it was over, but the games have just begun.
Yeah, Saw 5, I thought it was a good Saw sequel. In this film, it became kind of apparent that the Saw series really could just be a cop show. In this one, it became kind of apparent that, like, they just threw traps in the movie just to have traps in the movie. This film was a good character study on the character of Detective Mark Hoffman, who's one of my favorite characters in the Saw franchise, and I really hope he comes back for the new Saw, which I don't think he will. Okay, guys, that's going to be it for today's Blu-ray update. Thank you so much for checking out this video. I really appreciate it. Down below in the comments, tell me what you thought of some of the movies that I talked about in this update. And also, guys, I just hit 2,000 subscribers. Thank you so much. I'm going to make a big thank you video thanking you guys. I'm going to be giving some shout outs, and I'm going to do something else for it. I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to do. I'm going to do something. Thank you for watching this video, and I will see you guys next time.